was trying not to, but she couldn't help it.
And he would look towards us and be like, you heard that. It's funny because I remember that nod watching Making of the Band. He would do that often. I think that's just his go-to.
Another thing, watching the Diddy documentary, the whole thing was insane, but the two jury members that they had on the documentary, who picked you? Not in touch with reality. Like, nothing going on upstairs.
Welcome back, y'all. Hope everybody good. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, because this one is crazy. Yo, so everybody's talking. Since the doc dropped, the internet's been wild. People are watching, reacting, judging. And one big question keeps popping up. Did the jurors fail the victims? Because after what we saw, some say the answer is yes. Many call out what they see as obvious bias. One common reaction, a black woman juror featured in the documentary, was described as starstruck by Shawn Diddy Combs. People say her body language, smiling, nodding when Diddy looked at the jury, shows she was too friendly with him.
That juror, the lady, the black lady in the Diddy documentary, bro, she was a fan, bro. She is a fan. Oh, what did you think of Diddy? Did you know him? Yeah. She was excited to talk about him. Bro, she should, when you see it with both your eyes, right? Should she be allowed to even be a juror? She shouldn't have. Like, she was like, was Diddy looking at you guys? No, really, but we were looking at him. I was looking at him all this time. Bro, she was excited. Good for her, but come on, bro. Like, the Indian guy, the Indian dad, bro, you can tell he had no clue who that guy was. He was like, I don't know. But her, she couldn't stop smiling. She was happy, bro.
I am of that generation who basically grew up listening to the music that he was involved.
I understand exactly why 50 Cent put this juror in the docuseries. She was a fan. She was fanned out and she was starstruck. Immediately you could tell she's holding back her smile. In fact, she wasn't even holding it back. She was trying not to, but she couldn't help it.
And he would look towards us and be like, you heard that. It's funny because I remember that nod watching Making of the Band. He would do that often. I think that's just his go-to.
She was like, oh yeah, when Capricorn Clark was on the stand, like, she was just too emotional. I just couldn't believe it. And Diddy was making these faces and I had the exact same faces to make. Like, we were on the same. Ma'am, he's manipulating you. That's what he's good at. She was so starstruck that I started to understand, okay, this is exactly why he was acquitted of kidnapping. This is exactly why the trial went the way it went.
This juror right here proved to me that they all need to be under investigation. Because she was clearly a Diddy fan, a Bad Boy fan, or whatever the case may be. She was smiling and laughing like she waited for this moment her whole life. Like, it was weird.
It really threw me for a loop when she brought up the fact that she didn't believe that Diddy was actually nodding at the jury. She just thinks it was a nod that he would normally do because she watched Diddy on Making the Band. Even as the media reported, and someone like me who has covered this case extensively, you would have known that the judge used a particular word when he threatened Diddy to kick him out of the courtroom when he was caught nodding at the jury. Judge said Diddy was vigorously nodding at the jury. That means he wasn't just nodding a little bit.
When Diddy was acquitted of multiple charges and sentenced to only 50 months in prison, a lot of people were asking the same question. Was the jury stupid? And after watching this Netflix documentary, Shawn Combs The Reckoning, produced by Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, I can confirm that yes, they were.
These were literally P. Diddy's fans. And it's so unfortunate that he gets to walk. I've been in and out the music industry for like the last 8 years. So I've seen this type of personality. She is literally a fan. She just couldn't wait to tell the world how she was in the same room with Diddy. That's what it was giving. And it was so annoying.
Others point to interview clips from the doc where jurors admit they were confused about the relationship dynamics between Diddy and Cassandra Ventura. One juror said the alleged abuse and possible affection afterward, texts, trips, made it hard to explain.
There's just something about her story. He kidnapped me, we drove 15 minutes up the road. What is it? Did he kidnap you, or did you drive 15 minutes up the road to go with him because you were an enabler? I don't believe her story, I'm sorry, I don't. So many people are like, oh, he hates Diddy, you can't believe him, you can't trust him. No, I think that he's done an incredible job at piecing together this documentary. Like, this documentary shows you the success and the levels, and like, to go into so much detail. Like, it wasn't just the I Hate Diddy documentary. No, it was showing you the whole trajectory, the entire story, piecing everything together in the most clearest way. 50 Cent done an incredible job with this documentary. Like, hats off.
Capricorn told that story. She doesn't need proof. She does not need proof. You can tell in how she was telling her story, her body language. She was telling her truth. The fact that this girl was like, we all felt the question mark. She was so fanned out because Diddy kept on, like, she was like, and I saw him on the corner of my eye. The jury was victims, and they don't even realize. They don't even realize how easily they are narcissists' prey. Shout out to Capricorn. I am so sorry that this happened to you, and I'm so annoyed, and we are all annoyed for you.
That confusion, to many watchers, feels like a tragedy for the victims. Some people said the jury treated the case like any normal breakup drama, not like a case of abuse or coercion, basically ignoring power, fame, and manipulation. Many on social media feared this sends a bad signal for victims everywhere, that being rich or famous equals protection. Others complained that the jury's verdict doesn't match what they saw in the documentary, the tape, the testimonies, the mood. People are saying, you saw the evidence, you heard the stories, and they still let him off easy.
Juror 75, quote, she wanted to be with him. This guy was actually on the jury. The other person, I think, was the alternate. He went further saying, look at the evidence. It doesn't make any sense. This was his quote, it takes two hands to clap. You cannot clap with one hand. And when two hands clap, they both end up like this together. And then he's talking about, this evidence makes no sense. She's testifying about violent beatings, and she's texting him the next day. She's testifying about all this violence, and then she's going on trips and planning vacations with him. You can't have it both ways. You have to take some accountability for your actions when you're a full-blown adult and not somebody sick from Eastern Europe who doesn't speak the language and has no money. These jurors trying to reconcile these stories with the charges of sending a man away for life is what led to the acquittal. Juror 160, I believe this was the alternate, brought up the biggest part, which I said and shouted from the rooftops, which is, this juror said, look, that video, we all saw that video, is horrifying, but, quote, domestic violence wasn't one of the charges.
The only thing that she has said that I actually agreed on, and I've been saying since the beginning, is that they didn't charge Diddy with domestic violence. That's where they fucked up at. They ain't charging for domestic violence. That's the only thing I agree with her on. Everything else, she was a fan. The jury needs to be investigated because it just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me.
Diddy Juror 160 that we saw in 50 Cent's Netflix documentary actually gave me off vibes from the very start of Diddy's trial. After her opening her mouth on this Netflix documentary, it confirmed my suspicions that much more. They always say that picking the jury is what could possibly make or break a case. And I think Diddy and his legal team knew that they wanted Juror 160 on this jury. With Diddy's $1 million legal team, he actually hired a jury consultant who is very good at what she does. And what she does is profile the jurors.
So from my understanding of how jurors are selected, the lawyers basically pick the best people for their case. So I guess like a wide number of people are selected, right? They're called upon. And then each lawyer gets to basically ask them a series of questions that can kind of like poke at their unconscious bias. And like if they seem to be biased in certain ways, they are then excused from the case. They don't get to participate as being jurors, right? So for example, if one of Diddy's lawyers was to ask like, how do you feel about Tupac? And then one of the jurors was like, I love Tupac. Like, I thought he was for the people. I really liked what he represented in Black community, all of a sudden, this juror is now seen to have bias and could be seen as somebody who could tamper with the case. Do you get what I mean? So that's basically the battle that they have, back and forth, back and forth. The prosecutor side would have asked questions like, are you a fan of Bad Boy? Or it could have even been as basic as, do you know Shawn Diddy Combs? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, this is the game that lawyers have to play even before the trial has even started. Do you get it? So by the time that the trial has even started, both sides are already aware of who is for them and who isn't. Do you get what I mean? And they have to tailor their entire argument to kind of like sway those people. So just by watching the documentary and seeing those jurors, it's clear to me that the prosecutors completely lost that jury selection round, like before the trial had even started.
She looks at everything, their body movements, the way they talk, and she puts it together, picking the people that she believes might be most helpful to Diddy during his trial.
They was definitely paid. The way she was smiling, what was funny? Because you a female. She's a woman too.
Okay, Diddy's gonna get out, but I don't think this is the end for him. What's also so irritating about this is that they literally had pictures of what happened at Kid Cudi's house. They had all of that, and the jurors, especially the lady, juror 160, was like, well, it just put a big question mark in everyone's mind. Like, we just didn't. You had a first-hand account. Cassie came on the stand and told you exactly what happened. Capricorn Clark came and told you exactly what happened. You're so starstruck. You couldn't get past Diddy making the faces that he used to make when he was on Making the Band, and I recognized them, trying to hold your smile back. Girl, you fell for it.
I'm sure, like, once that trial was over, those jurors was ready to sell their story. Listen, that lady was waiting to the very last minute. She was down to her last bottle of baby oil, waiting for that phone call.
So, why do many viewers think the jurors failed the victims based on public reactions? First, even after hearing extreme allegations and seeing troubling footage, the jury only convicted on minor charges. To many, that feels like a slap in the face to survivors. Secondly, the jurors admitted confusion over evidence that to outsiders seemed clear. The idea that texts after assault equals love feels tone-deaf to many watching. Third, bias, real or perceived, seems to have played a role, fans say. One juror was too friendly to Diddy, maybe even glazing him during the documentary interview. And lastly, for a lot of people, this isn't just about one man. It's about how the system treats powerful people. Abuse, money, and power still too often win.
I'm not a lawyer, but the note about juror number 25 could possibly mean, not for sure, but could possibly indicate that he already has his mind made up and doesn't want to engage in deliberations or debating about what his opinion is and what everybody else's opinion is. It could mean that he doesn't want to deliberate. That would be why he's not, quote, following the judge's instructions. So that's what it could indicate. If that were to be the case, that could result in a hung jury. Hung jury means that the jurors deliberating can't come to a unanimous decision. It means they all can't decide if Diddy is guilty or not guilty. If that were to be the case, okay, don't misconstrue my words. If the jurors are not able to come to an agreement on if Diddy is guilty or not, it would be called a hung jury, and hung juries result in mistrials. It means that this trial is incomplete because we didn't get a verdict, and then the prosecutors get to decide if they want to do it again or not. That could happen. That could be what this leads to. It also could not. It's the very first day and first couple hours of deliberations. You can expect deliberations to last longer than a day. And so we're still very, very early, but I got a lot of questions in the comments, so I wanted to make this video, even though I'm not a lawyer. So please don't go stoning me and telling me all the things I said wrong. This is all potential, could be the case, could also not be.
Investigate the jurors. Investigate them motherfucking jurors. Investigate them. Not just for a little bit. Let's wait 3 years and look into their finances, because something ain't right. After watching that documentary, that man should have been buried under the jail. Something ain't right. Let's go back and let's A year from now, let's investigate them jurors, because something ain't right.
Let's be real. This isn't just a celebrity scandal. It's a warning. If a guy with fame, cash, lawyers, and allegations this heavy can walk away from most charges, what does that say for regular people? For survivors without cameras, without money, without a documentary made about them? Social media reactions have turned this into more than a court verdict. It's now a public reckoning, a test of who we believe, a test of what justice means when power, fame, and money are involved. So tell me, after seeing what people are saying, after hearing the jurors' own words, do you think the jurors failed the victims? Or do you think they followed the law the best they could? Drop your truth in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Because with cases like this, public pressure might be the only thing that brings real change.
Big shout out to all the creators whose clips were used in this video. Your voices help shape this story and push the conversation forward. Go check them out in the description, show love, and support their work. No copyright intended. This video is for commentary, education, and discussion purposes only.